I remember every Friday as a kid watching NBA on TNT, getting excited to watch fucking Tracy McGrady and Allen Iverson go at it. And now it's just like, it's just so bad. It's so bad. And I've
fallen back in love with hockey, and I don't even watch basketball anymore. And that's coming from a guy who played collegiate basketball, and I don't watch it anymore because I'll watch March Madness and a little bit of college basketball, but the pros, I don't watch a single NBA game.
It's so bad.
In 98, it was only a TV. That's all you had. So 100 million were capable of streaming it, and 28 million watched the NBA Finals. Now, pretty much everybody's got a fucking cell phone. 120 million have something capable of watching it, but only 11 million are watching it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burndown Podcast. My name is Justin, a.k.a. The Dapper Cigar. This gentleman across the table from me is Eric, a.k.a. Brother Cigar, a.k.a. Easy E, a.k.a. Slick Rick, a.k.a. Mother's favorite DJ.
Yo, you got all of them. Damn.
If you're new to this channel, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, so you'll be notified every single time we drop a new episode, which is every Friday, all right, without fail.
Almost 6 years, baby. Every Friday.
We failed twice, okay? Once.
You know what? Just don't even mention it anymore. We never failed.
No.
You know?
It wasn't a fail. It was intentional. It was an intentional non-post. Intentional no-post.
I will say from the first almost 6 years, it's been every Friday. The one or two times that we did, one was Christmas and one we lost the episode. So
intentional no-post. So anyway, in case you don't know who we are.
In case you're a first-time listener, first-time watcher, this is the Burndown. Check out our website, burndownpodcast.com. Become a member, $5 a month, exclusive discounts, giveaways every single month, exclusive discounts to our cigars, our sticks, Blueprint and Diligent. And
can we say that now?
Well, Facebook.
Well, it's the next episode. That's next episode. Let me tell you something about LeBron James. Okay. Speaking of LeBron James,
I want to bring up a basketball topic.
You like that segue?
I do.
Let me tell you something.
Justin is played collegiate basketball. I always loved watching. I played basketball back in the day. I played club basketball, club league champion actually. And honestly, LLU Post.
Yeah. That's some of the best games.
I got a T-shirt to show for it.
They say the greatest game ever played was not a professional, was not a televised, sanctioned, refereed game.
Those are the best.
It was the dream. It was the dream team 5-on-5 scrimmage that was played in like a high school gym that nobody ever saw.
Yeah, no one ever knows about.
They say that was Jordan's 5 and Magic Johnson's 5, and they went.
Club in college is like just like a organized.
You know what we used to do? You know what we used to do when I played?
And that's my question.
What?
Like club sports in college. It's like students just playing in a school league, right?
It's like when you want. It's like you want to play like in a men's league, right? Yeah. It's just the students that aren't on the basketball team. But we used to do is we used to go into just because when you wanted to, there was no games and you played in some outside. You wanted to get a run in. You wanted to let's go play a run. So some of the guys we'd get like 2 or 3 of the guys from the team, and we'd go to the rec center and just. Like we got next,
and
then be like, who wants to play? Like, doesn't matter, pick 2. Anyway, come on, And we used to actually have, so it was me and like 2 other guys. We used to get the center, me, and then like the point guard, and then I had a buddy that didn't play on the team, but he was really good. We had him, and he was a shooter, and we would just fucking just throwing
I was more on the boards,
dunking on people.
I was the big man. I was the big man down the boards, crashing the boards, putting the backups.
No, you would have been a guard in college.
Yeah, no, not
you would have been like a 2 in college.
In college, for sure. But in my club league, I'm one of the taller guys.
Because I was a 3. I was a small forward.
Yeah, I'm a 6'2". That's a point guard status. That's not a fucking big man. But anyway, I always loved basketball, watching it. Like my favorite player was like Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady,
sleepy eyes.
Kobe Bryant, obviously. Jordan, obviously. That's a given.
Kobe Bryant that's who
Kevin
I grew
Garnett,
up with.
Allen Iverson, all those guys. Paul Pierce. Those were the best guys watching ever, right? Antonio Walker on the Celtics too. So I tried watching basketball the other day because I'm like, I don't even know who plays in basketball anymore. Like Kevin Durant and like Steph Curry, like the only guys I know.
And LeBron.
And LeBron too.
Giannis.
Yeah.
The big names.
The big names. But
Joker. The Joker's fun to watch.
So I watched it. One, like the court, I felt like the contrast was like all the way up on 150. I'm like, why is this court green?
Yeah, you know what? I that was one thing I wanted to talk about too. Is it's like the you ever see is it Boise State?
Yeah,
Boise State's
the
football
turf.
field with the blue turf. It's like, dude, just make it a normal. Just make it green. Why do you got to go all fucking crazy?
And I don't know why they do this. And they had like the whole tournament thing. I tried looking into it. I'm like, it's just confusing. So
look at Duke. Duke Blue Devils. Their court is like, it's simple.
Yeah.
Simple. Traditional court with a blue D in the center. That's it. Never changes. It's never crazy. It's the same thing.
Kiss it. Keep it short, simple, stupid.
Although I will say that the old school, the Boston Garden, the Celtics court with the squares, that was like the old. That was like
the old, like the dark brown wood.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta pull it up because I'll have what's his name. Have our editor put it up there, but
no, what's his name?
I think
his name is Nick.
His name is. Well, I don't know if he wanted. I know, but I didn't know if he wanted to be.
All right. Well,
I said
his name. We call him Nick. But anyway, so I tried watching it. I'm like, you know what? This is just brutal. It's so hard to watch. So I came across this video recently because your phone's always listening to you about how how the NBA is just declining and how much it sucks.
Like that.
Yeah, that's
the checker pattern.
I like that. Yeah,
that's like but that was what the Boston Garden was known for. Was like that was its court. That checkered pattern.
So, of course, your phone listens to you. This video came up, a 15-minute video, and it talks about basically why the NBA sucks today, how everything
sucks,
and it really does. Like in the video, he talks about how the viewership has declined 48% since.
It's wild.
48% in like last 10 years or since.
I'll ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, and he just goes into all these different factors about why it's so bad, and it's all true. He talks about how once LeBron joined Miami with Chris Bosh and D Wade, how that just completely changed the competition. About everyone making a super team, no one wants to stay loyal. And then he had another really interesting statistic where, like all the top, like a certain percentage of the top players that get paid $30, $40, $50, $60 million play no more than 60 games a year, and they're getting all the most money. And they talk about how the decline of defense and all the high scoring and all these different factors. But it was such an interesting video because I know you're a basketball guy, and I watched Fun with Dick and Jane the other day. I tried taking the video for you, but I missed it. And he's like,
I don't know where you're getting your statistics.
But you're a statistic guy. But I was like, you know what? This is all true because the NBA, I used to watch the basketball more than football. I used to like basketball more than football. I remember every Friday as a kid watching NBA on TNT, getting excited to watch fucking Tracy McGrady and Allen Iverson go at it. And now it's just like, it's just so bad. It's so bad. And I keep hearing more and more people who like, you're a basketball guy, like, it's so hard to watch.
I'll tell you something. So I was a basketball guy, right? This thing is like shot now.
Put it in some distilled water.
I was a basketball guy, obviously. But now I've fallen back in love with my first sport, which was hockey. Okay, hockey. And have you ever seen the movie Big with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
When he's talking to this girl and he's like, you could like, it's like the thing changes. You can do it. You can do it in any sport. You can wrestling, baseball. You can do it with hockey, like any.
How do you remember little nuances like that?
But anytime I say hockey, my wife always says, she goes, hockey. So, but I originally played roller hockey. That was my first love was hockey, ice hockey. Now, I didn't really have, I wasn't in an area where ice hockey was prevalent, right? It's not like I lived in Canada where you can just skate all year long. But that was my first love.
I still actually remember my first and only hockey stick ever. Ever.
What kind was it?
Modell's. Went to Modell's. My dad took
Gotta
Modell's.
go to Modell's.
It was a majority black hockey stick with a little orange trim, and it was a Nike hockey stick, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Man. And I had the plastic puck and the plastic ball.
I used to go to Play It Again Sports to get all my gear.
But I didn't do roller hockey. I just did street hockey with your feet.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. But so I played roller hockey. But my first love was hockey. Right, I loved Wayne Gretzky. I loved watching Wayne Gretzky. I was a big Ranger fan. when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup, it was like, was it 95 or something like that? So,
speaking of hockey players, and you brought up Dumb and Dumber the other day. A fun fact after this, just remind me to talk about it.
But then I switched to basketball, right? But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because over the recent years, so when I used to love watching basketball. And I like watching college basketball more than I like watching the pro basketball game because college players, I feel like they have more to play for. I feel like they give it a little bit more because they're trying to get to the pros. The pros get paid regardless if they win or lose, which is bullshit. Now, with the NIL deal, a lot of the D1 players can get paid with their name, image, and likeness off of social media, and so it's a little bit not like it was back in the day, 20 years ago, where it's like you didn't get paid. Like you were going to school, like getting paid to go to school was they're paying for your schooling, and now you still got to perform. But anyway, so I liked watching like March Madness and all that stuff, and I didn't really like watching the NBA, but now I've fallen back in love with hockey, and I don't even watch basketball anymore. And that's coming from a guy who played collegiate basketball, and I don't watch it anymore because I'll watch March Madness and a little bit of college basketball, but the pros, I don't watch a single NBA game.
It's so bad
because I feel like it's just terrible to watch. There's no team aspect to it. It's one-on-one the whole time, and everybody's shooting threes. Everybody's shooting, and there's no defense. I feel like every little, like I played basketball growing up in the 90s and early 2000s. You could hand check. You could play some defense, right?
Yeah, you get a little rough.
John
Starks.
I played in the schoolyards. Get banged up. No blood, no foul. You know what I'm saying? But now I feel like every little thing's a freaking foul. Everything is a foul. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's so annoying to watch because all the fouls, it ruins the flow of the game. It's like, get the ball, run down the court, foul, free throw. The other team gets the ball, run down the court, foul, free throw. And it's just like so on.
You know what would be an interesting statistic? Now, I don't know how I would look this, if you could look this up, but the length of the game. Now, the game obviously hasn't changed much, right? It's 4 12-minute quarters. So it's 48 minutes of playing time.
Yeah.
But when there's a foul, the clock stops. When there's a foul, the clock stops. When there's a foul, the clock. So obviously, the more fouls, the longer the game takes. And if it's a close game at the end of the game, that last 2 minutes of the game could take forever. Okay, so there's the playing time, 48 minutes, but then there's like the
actual
time of the game. I wonder what the average actual time of a game was 30 years ago, 40 years ago versus 30 versus 20 versus, okay, it's still 48 minutes.
Look it up.
But if there were less fouls and they let them play a little bit more, then the effective 48 minutes could effectively take maybe 2 hours. But now if they're constantly stopping the game for freaking more commercials, they're stopping the game for more fouls, they're stopping the game for this, for that, then maybe it takes 3 hours. So maybe when you have a basketball game on in the 90s, it was on TNT for 2 hours. But now you got a game on for 3.5 hours. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I wonder if there's a correlation.
I think the two main pillars of why the NBA, and granted, I know everyone doesn't watch the NBA, but it's just an interesting topic just to see how, because what the video said, when Michael Jordan was playing for his 6th NBA championship in 1998, it was an average of 29 million viewers, right?
On his playoff games?
Playoff games and championship.
Because you don't get 30 million viewers every game. No, but
I think it was said average.
Well, during the NBA Finals, because that's the only game on.
Yes,
right.
NBA
During
Finals.
the regular season, there's 20 games on, so everybody's not watching.
Compared to LeBron's last championship in 2020, I think it said like 7 or 8 million.
I'll Google it.
Which is actually wild.
So when was it? 1998 was his last. Okay, so ChatGPT. I'll just Google it right now. Ready?
Yeah, just ask.
Type it in. Okay,
just speak to it.
What was the average number of viewers during the 1998 NBA Finals versus the 2020 NBA Finals? Okay, average number of viewers in 1998. Fuck.
Damn.
1998 NBA Finals featuring the Chicago Bulls and Utah Jazz, which was his famous
crossover famous push off. Yeah,
28 million viewers per game.
Yeah, 28 million per game.
The 2020 NBA Finals, which featured the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat, had 7.5. There was a significant drop compared to previous years, largely influenced by COVID, which is bullshit because that should have increased because nobody was going out.
That's what I was going to say, which was crazy because everyone is home. No one's doing anything. All you do is watching TV, and the amount of people watching it was not there.
Okay, let's do it again. Ready? What about the 2023 NBA Finals? So it said the 2023, which was the Denver Nuggets, Miami, 11.6.
Okay, a little bit more.
So even so that was the most recent one. So 28 million.
That's still more than half.
And had more than double what it had last season.
So
in an era where now think about that. Let's take it one step further. I'm going to ask them this. Ready?
Okay.
How many homes had a TV in America in 1998? How many homes have a TV now? Let's look at that. Ready? All right, so it says, in 1998, 98% of American households had at least one television, with an estimated 100 million TV households across the country. As for today, the number of households with a TV has declined somewhat, largely due to the rise of streaming services and digital media. However, the majority of homes still have access to a television. In 2023, approximately 93% of American households, this equates to 120 million TV households.
Wow, so the percentage actually decreased.
So the percentage, but the number went up. So they said it went up 20 million. So 20 million more homes have a TV, but now you have streaming devices, right? So now think about how many homes have a streaming device, right? Let's look at that. How many homes have at least one streaming device, whether it be a TV, a phone, a tablet, in America today? Let's see what this one is. So it said approximately 85% of U.S. households have at least one device capable of streaming, which is about 115 million households.
Damn.
So think about that. In 1998, it says 99 million, so about 100 million people.
30%
had
30% watched
had a TV because they didn't have a streaming. They couldn't watch it on their phone, so they had to watch it on the TV.
Yep.
So 100 million people have a TV, and it was 28 million. So like you said, 30% of the people that had a TV were watching the NBA Finals. But now you have 120 million households, and only 7.5 million are watching the NBA
11 million. 11 million.
Oh, recent. But if you go back to the
20, yeah.
So think about that, right? Because the number in 1998 was 28 million people were watching.
The percentages are higher in 1998, right?
Well, no. So in 1998 there was 100 million households had a TV. Now we'll broaden it. Let's say that it was some sort of streaming device. In 98 it was only a TV. That's all you had, but you were capable of streaming. So 100 million were capable of streaming it, and 28 million watched the NBA Finals. So out of the 100 million people that had, or households that had a TV, 28 million were watching the NBA Finals. So that's 28%, about 30%. Now, there's 115 million, 120 I would say, because it's probably, they're talking about households, but maybe there's like an apartment or whatever, but pretty much everybody's got a fucking cell phone. 120 million have something capable of watching it, but only 11 million are watching it.
So what's the
percentage? So that's 10%.
Yeah.
So it went from 30% of the people that are capable of watching the finals down to 10% of the people capable of watching the finals. Right?
Yeah.
Because you had 28 million people were watching Jordan win his 6th championship, and they were watching it on a tiny little 10-inch TV because they didn't have. Now you can watch it on anywhere. You can watch it. People probably watch it on the train on their phone.
Bro, I had no idea the Denver Nuggets were in the NBA Finals. No idea.
So that's just
I didn't even know that.
That's like really analyzing the data a little bit further.
That's bad.
It's crazy.
That's bad. So back to my original point was I think the two pillars of why the NBA sucks arse is one,
sucks arse,
the incline of the super teams. Once LeBron teamed up with D Wade and Chris Bosh.
Yeah, super teams. I have more stats too to talk about what you're
right
segueing into.
What did he do? He went to Miami. He won 2 championships there. And then what did he do? He went to Cavs and formed another super team.
Well, hold on. The second Cavs team wasn't really a super team, was it?
It was Kyrie Irving. It was
and LeBron.
No, who's the guy from the Lakers? Tall white guy, Great shooter. Played for the Timberwolves.
Kevin Love?
Kevin Love.
It's not a super team, dude.
Bro, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, and LeBron?
Yeah, but it's not a super team. That's not Kevin Durant, Steph Curry,
but they're all number
Klay
one players.
Thompson.
But they're all number one players and all respectively at one point of their team, and they all joined together. What would you call
Kevin
that?
Love wasn't the number one player.
He was number one in Timberwolves.
Dude, but like...
So what would you call that?
Okay, I'm talking like super team. Like you're talking, okay, you look at... I would arguably say, okay, there's two, because it was Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Kyrie and LeBron, okay? The third player was like Andre Iguodala and Klay Thompson, and then Kevin Love and J.R. Smith, right? Those two, they're not...
I'm talking about the top big three players.
But like, okay, in Miami Heat, where you have Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James, that's a big three, because those are like three, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, it could be arguably the best in their positions ever. Okay, and then you have Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, best in their positions ever. But would you say like Kevin Love's the best in his position ever? Would you say that Klay Thompson's the best in his position ever? You know what I'm saying?
But I look at how well they did.
The first Cavs team, no. The first Cavs team LeBron took to the finals was an absolute garbage of a team.
Yeah.
And he took them to the finals.
Yes.
Then he went to the Heat, but then he went back to the Cavs and he took them. But here's another thing. The Cavs went from being the worst team in the NBA to going to the NBA finals as soon as LeBron showed up. Now they made a couple other moves, but like super team. When KD and Steph teamed up, you can't say
the LeBron's first finals with nobody on it compared to the second time he went to the finals with the Cavs wasn't a.
Oh, wait, timeout. Totally forgot from the Heat. Ray Allen.
Yeah, that too.
See, now that's a fucking super team.
Yeah. Well, so what would you consider? What would you consider joining all those forces in Cavs as what? Just another team in the East?
The Heat was an absolute super team.
No, that was, but that was But the Cavs team was another spinoff of another super team. I wouldn't say it's a super team like Miami, but it was a dominant force. Those are three top players that are number one in their position at the time. Kyrie Irving was at the top. Kevin Love was at the top at the Timberwolves and got traded to the Cavs.
But then you can go back and talk about like all of like go back to Jordan when Jordan played.
But
it was Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr.
Yeah, but they weren't all traded. They were all part
Dennis
of the team.
Rodman. You had Scottie Pippen. You had Michael Jordan. You had Dennis Rodman, who was the greatest rebounder of all time.
Yeah.
You had Michael Jordan, who was the greatest player of all time.
But Steve Kerr was already on the Bulls, right? Scottie Pippen was drafted by the Blazers.
Yeah, the thing is that they didn't create the team.
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't build it.
They didn't artificially say, "Hey, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this."
Yeah, you didn't build it.
Yeah, and that was all the GM. That was what's his name, Jerry Krause.
What I didn't like was when. But now, granted, if you look at every team across the board, they all have like 2 or 3 guys that are future Hall of Famers on a team. Like, take any NBA team now. They got 2 or 3 guys that are, like, top in the league. Like, they all got them. It's when you go deep, when your whole starting 5 is, like, Hall of Famers. Okay, they're your fucking super team. Okay? What I didn't like is that when you have...
you can have a super team, but organically. Like,
organically. But when you create it is the problem.
Not cherry-picking this guy from this team and this guy from this team, trading for him and putting him on. That's the difference.
What I think we're getting at here is that back in the day, people just stuck with the team that they were on.
Yeah.
Now there's so much trading, and people go.
Then everyone else wanted to chase a ring. Like, oh, LeBron got a ring like this. Durant got a ring like this. All right, I don't want to play for this team anymore. That sucks that I got drafted to. I want to hold out, get traded, and get paid and win a ring.
Now, granted, there might have been. It's tough because if you look at it from a different angle, nowadays. Everything is so much more, I don't know if this is a word, published, right? Everything is readily accessible and known to the public.
Yeah.
Versus back in the day, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you couldn't just like pull up your phone and see that somebody got traded. It wasn't well known, but now everything is like, as soon as somebody gets traded, bang, you know about it.
Bang.
So maybe there was a lot of trading happening, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now because you can't instantly find out. But I feel like back in the day, which it's funny when we say back in the day. When was that? It was Wednesday in 1980s. Okay, I feel like when you weren't Because there's always, you look at it, you're always trying to build the team, right? As a manager or an organization, you're trying to build a team, okay? Trying to bring in the best people that I can with my budget and with my know-how, bring in the best team so that we can win a championship. That's the goal. I felt like back in the day, it was more, okay, it wasn't it was let's bring in this guy, we have, all right, nobody left to go to another, everybody stayed here, and it's like, all right, let's keep, like the core guys stayed, and we try to piece things together and try to get a little bit better. But now I feel like, all right, you guys want to, it's like you got guys that are all on the phone with each other. One guy from Team A, Team B, and Team C, they got on a group chat, and they're like, hey, you guys want to win a champ? All right, let's go over to Team D, and we'll just fucking win a championship.
Well, so my main piece was the two pillars, I think. Super teams, creating the super team. No one wants to stay loyal to the team. Then also the lack of defense, how they not desensitize, de-incentivize, right? De-incentive, is that the word?
Well,
they didn't incentivize, or they
got rid of the hand checking.
They kind of poo-pooed the defense, like in the 90s, right? We had John Starks on here. He was nasty. He was a nasty defensive guy. Even Jordan didn't Jordan win a couple defensive players of the year a couple times? Anyways, in the 90s, it was rough and rugged. Dennis Rodman, all those guys. Then as the years gone on, in like the mid-2000s, then things started getting a little bit softer. Like Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace was nasty. Kevin Garnett, nasty on D. Shaq, nasty on D. Then everyone kind of poo-pooed the defense, and they wanted to up the score and up the action. So not as the years progressed, they just wanted to be all offense and not all defense. And there's no real competition. Everyone just like gives you room. You shoot a 3-pointer. They give you room. You shoot here. It's like there's no like, oh, Justin is a great defensive player. Eric is a great offensive player. It's going to be a battle tonight. It's like, no, Eric's a good shooter. Justin's a good shooter. Who's going to have more points tonight?
Well, it's also, what's interesting is because I looked at the data and I was thinking, I was expecting to see more personal fouls in today's game than back in the day. That's what I was expecting to see. Unfortunately, it's actually not true when you look at the data. But I'm prefacing this because I have a theory of why that's the case. Nowadays you feel like everybody's like, it's a ticky-tack foul. Everybody's on the free throw line, and it's like, oh my god, this game is just everybody's shooting free throws.
Flop.
However, if you look back in today's game, they say there's about 19 personal fouls. This is per team, right? So that's 38 fouls a game. If you go back, let's look at we're talking about 1998. 1998 season, there was 22 fouls a game. So it's actually, that's per team. So that's
44.
That's 6 more fouls per game in the 1998 versus now. 6 more fouls. However, here's my theory behind that. If you look at, there was 91.6 points per team. Okay? 91.6. Versus now 112.
Damn, that's okay. A lot.
So there was more fouls back in the day, but less points. Now there's a little bit less fouls, but more points. And I think my theory behind that is it probably feels like there's more fouls because what happens is it feels like every time somebody goes into the lane, there's a foul. All right? Back in the day, there were only, let me see if I have the data here. 20 points right here. There were only 13 3-pointers attempted per team per game. So it's 26 threes attempted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So 26 threes, 91 points a game with like 40-something fouls. Okay? So that means more people were going to the basket. They weren't shooting threes. They were going to the basket, and they were getting fouled. Okay? More 2-pointers, a little bit more fouls. Now, there's 37.6 threes attempted per team, per game.
That's a shit ton of threes.
That's 70-something shots. Because they're talking about points per game is 112 with 37 threes. So that means there's 74 3-pointers per game, which means that nobody's going to the rack anymore, which is probably why, even though there's less fouls, people feel like there's all these ticky-tack fouls. Because every time they're not going to the lane that much, so it's pretty much every time, but they're still getting 38 fouls a game. So they're still getting close to the same amount of fouls, but they're shooting 4 times as many threes. So it's like all these guys are out on the perimeter shooting threes, but they're still getting the same amount of fouls, which means they got to be ticky-tack fouls all on the perimeter, little hand checks, because they're not going to the basket as much. Because in the 90s, you go to the basket and you get this hard foul, and then, all right, you go to the free throw line. But now everybody's shooting threes, but they're close to the same amount of fouls. So it's like, where are these fouls coming from? They got to be all these little ticky-tack bullshit. So that's why people are so pissed off, because they go, dude, that's not a foul. But so if you look at the numbers, it looks like there's more fouls back in the 90s. But when you dive a little bit deeper, they weren't shooting as many threes. The fouls were harder. Now those fouls are probably flagrant ones and flagrant twos.
Yeah, definitely.
So they were going to the basket, and they were banging down low and getting some foul calls. But now everybody's shooting threes, and you're like, and now anytime you go to up foul, not ticky-tack. Oh, on the three, little hand check foul. And people are like, what the fuck?
Fucking whack, man. The game, the pace of the game.
Does that make sense? It's kind of
I think totally.
Because I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, well, how do I explain this? And then, but that's my theory behind it.
That was a pretty good quick analysis right there. But I mean,
so the NBA sucks.
Yeah, point blank. NBA sucks, bro. The NBA sucks. I don't know what their plan is to get it back, but I don't know. I don't know if I ever watch the NBA ever again. I mean, maybe never is a long time, but
another thing. What are we at? 31 minutes. Oh, we still got time.
Yeah, we started at 4:01 with our new clock.
Oh,
only took us 5.5 years to get a big old clock in the studio to see what time it is.
Another thing is the stars, like the big stars of the teams.
Yeah,
back in the 90s, they were playing all 82 games.
Yep.
All
how many games in a season now? 100 and...
No, there's 82 games. Never changed.
Still?
82 games in a season.
Why did I think there was almost 100?
That's if you get into the playoffs. 82 regular season games.
Yeah, so...
And now it's like, now you got guys that are sitting out. They're only playing like 50 games.
All the guys, again, going back to that video that I watched, he pulled up his reference or statistic or whatever, and he was saying that like a certain percentage, the guys are getting paid 60, 70, 80, 30, whatever. The big bucks are playing 60 or less games throughout the season. So they're getting all this money, and they're the main stars, and they're not even playing majority of the season.
And a lot of them are taking rest.
Yeah.
Why are you not playing? Rest.
Yes, that was another big thing. And then what a lot of them do now is if they don't like the team, if they don't want to be on the team anymore, they just hold out. Then they just stick it out and say, I want to be traded. And then they go to another team that they want. And it's just...
Kobe actually said something, may he rest in peace.
Damn.
About
can't believe that, man.
How they asked, like, why do you play every single game? And he said, he's like, because what if there's somebody in the stands, father's son, and the father saved up every penny that he had to take his son to the game because his son wanted to watch me play. And I decided I didn't want to play that game for rest.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel like I'd be letting that kid down. That father scrap everything he could to take him to the one game that he wanted to see me play. And I'm like, I don't want to play because I'm resting.
Yeah, this is true, bro.
It's like, no, I'm playing. The fans are the reason that I get to do what I do. Because if the fans weren't here, I wouldn't get paid what I get paid. But the fans love it, and the fans want to see me play, so I'm playing.
There's no moral compass like that.
But now you got guys like, I don't give a shit, and they don't play.
Now think of that same thing. Now think of a dad, mom, whatever, taking their kid, son, to the basketball game. Oh, I'm going to go see Ben Simmons, right? He's still in the NBA, right? Ben Simmons.
Of all names.
I don't know. That just came in my head. I don't know why.
Couldn't think of LeBron. Just LeBron.
LeBron, yeah.
Ben Simmons.
I don't know why Ben Simmons came in my head. Because Ben Simmons is another guy who gets paid a lot of money and never plays.
That was a big fucking bust.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyways, okay, LeBron. You go see LeBron. Oh, my God, I'm going to see LeBron. Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, nah, I'm going to take a chill pill tonight. My ankle hurts.
Yeah, so now you saved up all that money, took your kid to go see LeBron. Now
you spend $300 on popcorn, sodas, foam fingers, jerseys. For what? To see the backups play?
Yeah.
To see the second, third players play?
We're resting our starters.
Come on, man.
There was no resting. But
that should be like, I feel like that's like a form of motivation, to continue to play, because it's like, I want this kid who maybe might see me play. I seen Kobe play once in the Garden. It was pretty sick. Have you ever seen Kobe play?
Have I ever seen Kobe play?
Like in an actual game?
I don't think I have. No.
Yeah, I saw him. I think it was like 2010, 2009 maybe. But went to the.
I saw Wayne Gretzky play.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I saw Kobe. Pretty sick. Pretty cool. But yeah, I would feel like that would be like a main motivator, as you're getting paid millions and millions and millions.
Can't let the fans down.
I agree, bro. That's like that would be like us, right? We're doing an event and people are paying to come, smoke our cigar, hang out, talk with us, and then you're like, you know what? I got a little headache. I'm not gonna go. I'm like, bro.
But you know what? I also see too is on top. So rest is like that's there's nothing wrong with you. You're just resting, right? But you see guys now. Oh, I got a sprained pinky toe. I got a sprained pinky finger. My shoulder, like little tiny things. It's not like I have a torn MCL.
Yeah.
And you can't play. These guys are. Oh, I got a little thing. Back in the 90s, they go tape that shit up. I'm going out.
Yeah.
I got a sprained ankle. I don't care. Can I play on it? Yeah. Tape it up. I'm going out.
Come on, bro.
But now it's like every little thing. It's like, oh, I got.
But you also, I also think
I got a cramp in my leg.
There's no like. I would think Jordan and Kobe were like the fucking killers.
Kobe had a dislocated finger during a game.
But hold on.
And went to his trainer and said, pop that back in. I got to go play.
In.
And you see him. He goes, you see him wince. They go, pop. He's like, oh. And he looks at it. He's like, all right, I'm good. Get me back in the game.
There's no, like, killer mentality. Like, there's no, I feel like Kobe and Jordan had that killer instinct. Like, I'm going to fuck all these motherfuckers up. I don't care if I'm sick or if I'm hurt. I'm getting on that court and I'm putting up points.
Look at the flu game.
Yeah,
the flu game, which now they've gotten looked into it. And it could have been food poisoning by the other team, but the flu game, guy was puking his brains out. Had 100-degree plus.
Saying that it could have been the other team.
Well, when you look at if you've ever watched The Last Dance,
yeah,
and talk about how he ordered a pizza and there was nothing open except for this one pizzeria, and he's like, "What do you mean there's nothing open? The only place open for food is this pizzeria," and he brought the pizza, and he said that his assistant was kind of had like a gut feeling. It was like, dude, I don't think you should eat this pizza, man. And LeBron and Jordan was like, dude, I'm starving. I got to eat something. And he's like, I don't know, man. I'm getting a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Like he said it like there was like 3 guys that delivered the pizza, and he was like, this is kind of strange, right? And he's like, and I ate it, and he's like, and got sick immediately. He was puking my brains out, whatever. And then the other team was like, they said that it might have been a setup where the other team was trying to food poison him.
Yeah.
And then when he came out the next day and dropped like whatever 40 points or something, and they go, what the fuck? You can't stop him.
Yeah.
Now, guy'd be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Look, Grant, listen, I don't watch basketball now, but I just don't feel like there's none of that killer instinct players anymore that like do or die basketball. You know what I mean? So that's it, bro.
Anyway,
NBA sucks. Fucking cheers to the NBA sucking, bro. Damn. So that's our little BDP sports take on the NBA today, because it sucks arse. So thank you guys and gals for watching and listening. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And if you like this episode, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notified every single time we do a new video. Become a member on our website. Exclusive discounts, cigars, merchandise, giveaways.
Getting a smoke
in the eye. And we appreciate all you guys coming out. Got a couple events coming up our way. We'll release those once they come out.
Yes, sir.
We're doing an event at the end of the month up in New Rochelle at... Actually, I'll tell them right now.
Well, you're doing an event.
Well, yeah, I'm doing an event because you're going to be a daddy, so you got to take care of the baby for a little bit.
The baby might be here
sooner than we thought.
Yeah.
So the end of January.
Yeah.
I think it's January.
It's freezing in here, bro.
It's fucking so cold. January 29th. It's at the Bruvnik Restaurant in New Rochelle.
Brick titties.
It's a game dinner.
It's a gang dinner?
Game dinner.
It's a gang dinner.
Game dinner hosted by a couple of our friends, Roman Vladimirski, Rob Kostamiris. They're hosting the event. We'll be doing the cigars, but the game dinner is pretty cool. I never heard of it.
It's a gang dinner.
You ever heard of a game dinner?
No.
So it's like venison, elk, like all this like hunting meat that you can.
You know what's funny is like most people think game dinner. Oh, we're gonna play games, play board games, play poker. My first thought was Oh, what kind of meat are you bringing? You bringing like what kind
I
of
thought,
game?
I thought the same thing.
That was the first thing I thought of.
So if you're in the Westchester Neuro Show area and you like game, you want a game dinner, you want some cigars, you want some game meat, come on down. You'll see me there. BDP will.
You want some game meat?
You want to see my meat? You'll see my meat down there.
You want to see Eric's meat? Go down there.
But thank you guys and gals for watching and listening. This has been great, and we'll see you on the next one. We're out. Peace.